Donkeys are very brave animals because they do not run away without first investigating what is happening. There are different breeds and of all sizes. Some can even surpass a horse. They are resistant, enduring several days without drinking water. Donkeys are also the parents of the mules, which is a hybrid of donkey. In some parts of the world, they guard sheep from predators. Something very positive is that there are still wild donkeys. This and much more in things you did not know about donkeys, also known as asses or donkeys. You are subscribed to the Hunter channel, otherwise this is the opportunity to do so and activate the notification bell. The donkey is guardian of the herd, something hard to believe, since it is only a herbivore. YouTube is full of videos of donkeys facing hyenas, coyotes, and even dogs coming out victorious on most occasions. You must understand that donkeys are territorial and stubborn animals. They do not flee when they perceive a threat. They first investigate before acting. If it is too late and cannot flee, they enter into combat, using all their resources such as kicks from both hind legs and front legs, and especially their powerful bite. Donkeys bite so hard that they can dismember their victims. There are even records of people injured and killed by donkey bites. They are used to protect the herd from dangerous predators such as coyotes, wild dogs, foxes, wolves, and even hyenas, especially in countries such as the United States, the United Kingdom, and some parts of Africa. The donkey skin gelatin or donkey skin tail is a product obtained from the skin of the donkey by soaking and stewing. It is mainly used as an ingredient in traditional Chinese medicine. As always, the Chinese sweeping away everything. The Chinese finished with the Chinese donkeys and started importing them from Africa. The demand increased considerably that many African countries opened new slaughterhouses to be able to supply the needs of the Chinese. But this did not stop here. 2017 research concluded that they needed 4.8 million donkey skins to satisfy the Chinese market. Not only Africa exports its donkeys, Brazil also joined the business. To protect these animals, many governments have taken action, but the massacres continue, and if so, donkeys will soon be history. Donkeys have participated in different wars. In the First World War, a stretcher bearer serving in the Australian and New Zealand Army Corps used a donkey animal to rescue wounded soldiers in the Battle of Gallipoli. The Italian army assigned a donkey to each rifleman to carry their field equipment across the mountains. In extreme circumstances of famine, they were allowed to eat the donkey. They also carried explosives and artillery in the Afghan War. To add, there is a photograph of a soldier carrying a donkey during the Second World War. The explanation for this is that the field was mined and they had to prevent the animal from exploding with mines. What are the donkey hybrids? The best known is the mule, probably the strongest pack animals on the planet, capable of carrying 90 kilograms of weight and walk with it up to 26 kilometers without rest. It was developed by crossing a donkey with a mare. It is considered hybrid because they are different species. If they were of the same species, would be a mestizo. This is nothing new. It has been practiced since 3500 BC in Central Asia. George Washington, former president of the United States, bred mules. He said that they were more docile and cheaper to maintain. Currently, it is one of the most used animals in agriculture and transportation of agricultural inputs, of course in less developed countries. The negative side of this hybrid is that it is infertile. The horse has 64 chromosomes and the donkey 62, the mule 63, being impossible to reproduce. For those who do not know what shoeing is, it is to put shoes on donkeys and horses. This is to protect the hooves from blows and work caused by the ground, and obviously to increase their performance in work and sports. There is a notable difference between donkey and horse hooves. Donkey hooves are more elastic and do not wear out so fast. Being necessary, a regular trimming if not done can cause permanent damage. Donkey shoes are a little smaller and without toe caps. The image explains what are the toe caps. Donkeys, like dogs, are classified by breeds. In 2011, there were 189 breeds of donkeys or donkeys distributed all over the planet. It is also important to know that there are more than 40 million of these animals. The Andalusian or Cordovan donkey is of Spanish origin and one of the oldest breeds on the planet. It can reach a height of 1.45 meters at the withers, but the mechanization of the countryside is leading it to extinction. Norman donkey is of French origin. In the French countryside is the main helper of farmers, especially in the dairy industry. It is also the perfect companion for family hiking because of its small size, 1.25 meters. American mammoth donkey, This animal of North American origin is the largest of all, reaching 1.73 meters at the withers, descended from donkeys brought from the European continent. The pointed donkey is different from the others because of its long hair. It is originally from France and can reach 1.50 meters at the withers. Catalan donkey. Currently there are only 500 purebred specimens distributed in Spain and France. They are the strongest and most resistant donkeys. Where do donkeys come from? According to studies, the modern donkey comes from the African wild donkeys, which we will talk about next, so we owe the donkey to the African continent. It is believed that the domestication of the donkey was achieved after the domestication of cattle and sheep, approximately in the year 700 BCE. Donkeys were a fundamental part of the economy of ancient Egypt. Outside of carrying, also consumed their milk, hand up to those who liked donkey milk, then came to the Middle East and Damascus. Finally the Romans discovered their power, with Christopher Columbus came to our continent. The wild African donkey, unlike modern donkeys, faces death every day. Since it inhabits the wildest continent, this animal is very brave. It hardly runs away from danger. It is constantly fighting with predators. They are more resistant than the average. It travels long distances in search of food and water. Its stomach is prepared to process all kinds of bushes and desert plants. They inhabit deserts and semi-deserts exactly in the Horn of Africa. Unfortunately, they are in serious danger of extinction. These wild donkeys are 2 meters long, 1.45 meters at the withers, and weigh up to 275 kilograms. There are 3 subspecies: the Nubian wild donkey, the Somali wild donkey, and the domestic donkey or donkey we are talking about. Because donkeys are considered clumsy animals and because less intelligent people are considered donkeys, it's all Pinocchio's fault. In this novel, the donkey is considered an example of stupidity and laziness. Remember, Pinocchio is persuaded by a friend to travel to the land of mischief, supposedly where children can do as they please. But unfortunately they are punished by being turned into donkeys, where they are only used for hard work. So when they say donkeys, remember Pinocchio. Use of donkeys. Over the years the donkey became man's best friend. They are intelligent animals prepared to perform various tasks, not only to carry heavy loads. As a herd guardian, protecting the herd from dangerous beasts. As I was saying, mules are superior to other pack animals, which is why there are donkeys as breeding males for mules. Like dogs, they work very well as pets, and in many industrialized countries where their use for work is null, they are kept as pets. In less developed countries it is the ideal helper for the population in extreme poverty. They carry their merchandise. If the situation is precarious, they eat them. This results in malnourished and overworked animals. In a recent investigation, it was determined that these donkeys have a life expectancy of 12 to 15 years. In developed countries, they live from 30 to 50 years. Another of their uses is tourism in remote areas, either to give rides on them or to tow the luggage of travelers. Many of us have eaten donkey meat without realizing it. If you eat it voluntarily, leave in the comments your experience. I say that without realizing it, since many meat vendors are cheaters passing donkey meat for beef. The consumption of donkey meat comes from the Persians. The story tells us that on one occasion they sacrificed 30 donkeys for a feast and the guests found it exquisite. Currently donkeys are raised exclusively for meat, this in countries like Spain, Burkina Faso, Nigeria and China. I am surprised that the Spanish eat donkeys. Before they leave, subscribe to the Hunter channel.